Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the pressures of schoolwork or just daily life? For many of us, and especially for our kids, finding a sense of belonging and balance can feel like a constant struggle. In today's episode, I'm joined by the inspiring Alyce Bell to explore how hobbies, community, and connection can transform our mental health and confidence. Alyce shares her unique insights as a coach and mentor, offering actionable advice for our parents, teens, and anyone else seeking a healthier or more fulfilling life. Alyce is also my best friend and doubles partner, so please welcome her to the studio. Welcome aboard The Nichole Show with host Nichole Hamilton. Our task is to educate, empower, and change lives. Join us for stories of resilience and rebirth. Honest talks that inspire and challenge you. Are you ready to make a move? It begins now. Welcome back to the Nichole Show, and we're live in studio. So for those that are listening, maybe you have time to jump over to the YouTube and watch us. I don't know if we'll be that cinematic, but you never know. I am in the studio today with my beautiful friend and doubles pole partner, Alyce Bell. So welcome to the podcast. Thanks. Hi. Happy to be here. Happy to be here, but also under the spotlight. This girl can dance in front of anybody, but talk on a camera. Talking to a camera is a nope. we got this, baby. We got this. Yeah. We can shake our booty. We can use our words. We were just, as you guys know, if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, it's really taking apart people's lives, finding something that we can deeply, vulnerably talk about. And the connection piece that I have with Alyce, first and foremost, is a beautiful friendship. Like, we've known each other. We came together from the pole studio, dance studio. We've known each other, I don't even know how many years. Yeah. But it wasn't an instant, like, friendship. We kind of knew of each other. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it wasn't.
As all my great friendships have started, first impressions weren't great.
I'm okay with that.
But that was through other people's speech. But, you know.
Yeah, well, tell me. Like, I mean, the first impression of me. Like, what did you think? Because I get this a lot, actually. And then how has it changed over time?
Yeah. Well, my first impression came before I had met you. I think I had been at a pole competition and you were competing. And at the time, the person who was sitting next to me had a negative view of you. Again, they hadn't really met you. They had just known and said, oh, she is such a horrible person, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, oh, okay. I'll keep my distance from her then. All right, then. That wasn't the case. This person is now a really good friend of yours as well. It was just, impressions from afar, from a distance, weren't great.
I think it's so interesting with women because, you have people that, and I get this question a lot. It's like, how do you make friends in older years? And I'm a really outgoing, extroverted person anyway. And so sometimes that gets misinterpreted with my personality, with the way that I talk. And I am very, very outspoken. So sometimes that's too much for people. However, when you get to know me, I do have a big capacity for love, forgiveness, for apologizing if I've crossed people's boundaries or whatever else, or really unpacking. And I think that the way that I hold space for people is a unique quality. And when people do get to know me, and when I do let people in, it's a different friendship because, as I said, like, I've always been extroverted. So I have a lot of acquaintances. People kind of think they know me, or they know, versions of me that is on social media or different platforms. But what I love about you and I is that for me, you just were under the radar, because you are a quiet person. I didn't know too much about you. I watched you have your babies in the pole studio. I watched you be pregnant, watched you become a mum. But you were never like, maybe because you weren't, really talkative, you were never really one of those people that I generally bonded with straight away. However, having a hobby and having a safe place to go for women and men cultivated this beautiful friendship. And I know, what is it, 4 years ago now we started Double D's? 4 years? 3.5, 4? They never know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been at least 4, I would say.
Yeah. So we both were just unmotivated in the studio one time, and we said, "Do you want to start practicing some double stuff?" Now I love our pole studio, Pole for Fitness. It is a place that everybody can try. Like it's a family. It's not just for the elite. And we just started training and practicing. For anybody who wants to go follow us, look at our Double D's page. Multiple fails. The amount of Instagrams that we send each other and then go try and think that we can do.
We can do this.
And then we can't.
No.
But what it developed was a really beautiful friendship, because not only are we training buddies, like yesterday we caught up, we did 2 moves, but we have that connection where we can unpack, we can talk about our life, our partners, and we both have an ADHD mind. I'm diagnosed, Alyce is undiagnosed, but we get each other's frequency, and having somebody who motivates you to connect with on a positive realm. So we're not out at the pub drinking, we're training together. We've got similar belief systems and values. We're both mama bears. We both care about kids. You've become part of my kids coaching business as well, but we have that similarity. And I find that that's really refreshing, because later on in life, it's so important. When you're younger, you don't care about people's values and how they behave. But when you get older and when you're a parent, you actually really want to hang around and be around people of similar styles.
Yes. Yeah.
So obviously your impression of me's changed now.
Definitely. And I think, like you said, with women, that is a lot of it is hearing about someone and making that judgment before you've even met them. I know I've had that too. One of my best friends, she told me she thought I was the biggest bitch when she first met me. She said she thought I was stuck up. I was up myself. She thought that I thought I was better than everyone else. Truth is, I was just really shy and didn't talk to anyone. But she didn't know that. And then we bonded over, I think it was a t-shirt I was wearing. She's like, "Oh, she likes that. Okay, maybe she's not that bad. Maybe she's cool." And then we started chatting, and off it went. So yeah, we've been friends through everything, this girl and I. So that's been many years now, well over 10, 15 years. But
it's so interesting how friendships do start. I mean, in kindergarten or, child group, like you just watch your kids, make friends and bond with the ones that they've got similar interests with. As we go to primary school, I know I changed school and found it hard to make those connections. It's not something we're really taught. And quite a lot of the girls that I do coach ask me, like later in life, I've had falling out with my friends. I don't feel like I've got aligned friendships anymore. I've outgrown them. Like, how do I find more people? And honestly, my best friends, and for those that don't remember, I'm 43, my best friends have literally come from about 38 onwards, because I've started going into places and spaces that are healthier, like the pole studio, dance studio, ice baths, meditations, retreats. And I've met my favorite people in the whole world from places and spaces that are bonding on a healthy level. So for anybody that's looking for new friendships or new ventures, like I highly recommend, and they don't always have to cost anything. Some of the ones we have, like are free places and spaces. But I also find it interesting that us women judge other women so innately. Like, I like you, I don't like you.
Yes.
I have a wall at this. And I've been challenged a lot in the fact that in the mindset world, they're like, if you have a resistance to somebody, like actually it is the universe, if you believe in that, challenging you to work through it. Like, what is this person here to teach me? Like, is it that? And the thing is, you can't see in somebody else what is not in yourself. I'm going to repeat that. You can't see in somebody else what's not in you. And so if your friend was thinking that you're stuck up, then maybe there's been times where she's been or resisted it, like where she hasn't been able to express it. Yeah. And so I remember I just had a conversation with a coach a few weeks ago. I was like, oh my God, I had such a resistance to booking a session with you, but I wanted to open up my heart and tell you that. But now that I've seen you grow and we've developed this connection, I see a lot of myself in you. And so isn't that interesting? Like, I don't know why, it's ingrained in human nature to judge and compare.
Yes. Yeah. Like you said, you don't see it with children. out in
Not
kindergarten.
at all.
They don't do that. No. And when do we learn that? And it's,
I don't know.
and again, not to, bring gender into it too much, but women have a way of doing it a lot more than men. Men don't.
I mean, I think
men do it.
I think men do it
to the same,
not to the same degree.
Yeah.
Men are just like, yep, here it is, we'll get on with
Yeah.
it. And men do it in a gym sense. I've heard of that culture, like compare their bodies and different things, but they suppress it more. But women, I don't know when we're taught it, but I really love to open that up because genuinely what we want is connection. Like we want friends and we want to feel seen and connected and loved and have that person that you can just, pick up the phone and connect to. And even if you have a partner or not, women tend to have very intimate friendships. We share a lot with each other because we get that emotional connection. And it's so interesting that, that we're taught to like compare and like, I like this one and I don't like this one.
Yeah.
And, I honestly believe that some of it starts from schooling. So we kind of need to teach the emotional regulation. But I think just opening up, like really understanding.
Is it when I think that might be bit of insecurity comes in, comes from a place of insecurity in a way that, women do end up, going through puberty and, as they get a little bit older, getting those insecurities, they happen.
Yeah.
Could be partly society's blame, society does put a lot of pressure on women to meet certain standards in the past, and that is changing, which is good. But with that grows insecurities. Insecurities grow. You're insecure about yourself. Maybe you judge that in other people as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
because kids don't. You're right.
Yeah.
I love that. I was just thinking. I don't know if you've seen that. There's a little reel in YouTube, and they're like putting kids together. There's like a kid with a different color skin, and there's there's a girl and a boy, or there's this, and they're like, what's different between you? And the kids are like, oh, you like Vegemite sandwiches and I don't. And they say the most randomest things, but they never compare body type or gender or color of the skin. And I love the fact. And I remember Aurora playing with my lash tech's mum, who doesn't speak a word of English. There's no, like, I wish we could bring some of that back because there's such joy in like honest, open-hearted connection that for some reason, we do block ourselves up for like, oh, and maybe it's also fear of rejection.
Yeah,
rejection. Like that person's not going to like me. So I reject them first. So I reject them first.
Rejects me. Yeah,
Perhaps
defense mechanism in a way.
Yeah. So interesting, but I'm glad that you did change your opinion of me. Because we have the best time, the two of us. We understand each other's brains. We train really well together. We've cultivated really good friendship.
I think we do balance each other out. As you said, I am the more quiet, reserved, type of person, and you are not that.
I tend to attract the ones that aren't as extroverted. So we work well together.
You do challenge me to come out a little bit more. Yeah, which is nice.
And I think you do calm me down. Like if I need to like unpack my brain, you're like, yes, I get you. Let's just do this.
Yeah. And having someone that understands the mechanisms of your brain.
Definitely. Sometimes we walked around with a phone in our hand or said something stupid and we're like, oh my God, here it is. We get it. We get it. We absolutely get it.
Yes.
So I'd love for us to like talk a little bit more about obviously double D's because this is can be a little controversial. So some people listening to this, you may or may not know about pole dancing. It is an actual sport. It's not always around, and it can be. We don't have any attachment to, but it's not always around striptease or being naked or taking your clothes off. But it is our place of empowerment.
Yeah.
Like, why did you start pole? Let's just go back to that. Why did you start pole dancing?
I started with my sister-in-law. Actually, we saw. I think it was me that suggested it. Saw an advert, and at the time, I had realised I was putting on weight, was not fit at all, and the thought of going to a gym was just not going to happen. Too boring. And I saw an advert for pole for fitness. I'm like, Well, I can't dance to save my life. But
You can now.
you know,
You're
I
beautiful
can now.
dance now. Yes.
But I thought, let's give it a go. This could be a bit of fun. This could be a laugh, really. It was more, yes, it's going to help my fitness. We'll give it a go and try to absolutely fall in love with it. I think, for me, it was, yes, I'm getting the fitness out of it, but the constant changing, I know your brain works a bit like mine, keeping yourself entertained by something, especially with pole dancing, there's always something new you can work on. Correct. Always something new you can work on, and you can work on something for a smidgen of time and then change it up and move on to something else. And, as it got bigger and I got more into it, and started getting to more of a routine and dance, the variety you can get from that is what I really love. Like I teach routines now, and I make sure if I'll do a slow and flowy routine. It's really nice to calm down, just go with the flow a little, and then change it up next week, and we'll have heavy metal and do something real energetic. And then the week after, it might be something more theatrical. And I love the putting on a show part and creating the story and the narrative behind it. Yeah, and like I said, it's always variety. You can keep changing it week to week. Yeah, that's what we need.
You are a beautiful choreographer, and you really do love your music. So I'm pretty sure, I think, bar from one song, you've picked all of our music. And I do play along with it because as soon as Alyce tells me her idea or theme, I can feel it and see it too. So I do love that. But what I loved about pole, so I actually, and it's 10 years plus, started pole dancing from a hen's night when it was a different studio, and I actually went back and taught in that very same studio, the CBD Pole for Fitness one, last weekend for a hen's night, and that's where I started. And I just fell in love with the creation of it and watching these beautiful ladies, so beautifully on the pole. And it is also an individual sport. Like, you can be inspired by others, but you are moving your body. You are getting fitter with your strength. It's not not a team sport, but the energy in the room, like, there's so many supportive people going, yes, you got that move, and you've got that. So I started a term with friends, and I think maybe one came for a second term, and then I kept going and finding that love for like you said, for an ADHD brain. Like, it's everything in a package. It's fitness, it's strength, it hurts, but there's dance, there's flow, there's always something to kind of captivate you with. There's acro, there's floor work, there's so much to it. And I've just met the best people from it, because all the women coming through those doors are empowering each other. We're excited. And both you and I are instructors now. We, progress through, and supporting somebody else in moving their body or getting a move, or, taking a photo of themselves, or whatever it is in that moment, empowering a woman to love on their body, not compare, to love where they're at and what they're doing, for me is what keeps me coming back. Yeah, I just love that with the studio. Yeah, it makes it so beautiful, and I don't think there's people really understand that side of it. They judge because we're wearing short shorts or crop tops. Like, what do you do? I remember that one time you were getting judged, and you were like, because you were posting about your dancing and stuff. There was, and I'm being judged too, like, running around in crop tops and short shorts. But it's not about that for us. It's about,
I think it was something about, oh, well, why do you have to show your bum to everyone? Like, it was a move. It was like I think it was a chair move. And, well, I don't want to see your bum come up in the morning when I'm scrolling on Facebook or Instagram or something. I'm like, well, you can unfollow me. You don't have to look at it. Like,
even look at my stories, scrolling through.
It's fine. But there is a lot of judgment there. And whether that comes back to women judging each other for, maybe because they're insecure
about their bum, or they want to show their bum, or they don't have the courage to.
Yeah, they've got that in them, which,
it's so it is so funny. And when we have a little bit of ego, like when we're feeling good in our skin, we take a photo, we take a little boomerang, and we post it. But innately, we're doing it for us. When we're in that studio, we are coming back to a place of, like, I'm proud of my body, I'm happy with this move, I'm excited to share it, and yeah, it's very interesting.
And
So
it is a really nice space for building yourself confidence. I know that, my journey through it, I remember, first day there, your t-shirts,
Yep.
long shorts to the knees.
Yep.
And slowly over time, the shorts get shorter, the top starts to come up a little because you need the grip, and you're kind of forced into this position where, hey, well, if I want to progress and get these new moves, I need skin, I need shorter shorts. But then you're also in an environment where you see all these other women who are that little bit higher of level than you, absolutely embracing everything, not giving two hoots about what they show or how they look. They just want to be in something to get the moves. And I think that's something where it is nice. You and I, we are not the model version bodies,
I think it's I don't know, everything is a nice way of saying it, but we've been told many a times it's so nice to see bigger girls on the pole. We're not bigger, we're curvy, we're not small, we're around the 80 kilos. Let's just be real. Like you're 77, I'm like 80.
I think about the same as you at the moment. But
our weight fluctuates. But I do remember when I first started, it was majority women that were a lot smaller than me, around the 50 kilos abs. And it's taken a long time, but it has also helped my self-confidence. I used to hide behind some of my friends that were pole dancers on the side and be in the back of the photos. And I noticed this at the hens party that I had. There was a couple of those, and I was like, wow, so important, because now I can curve on my body in all of those mirrors at the pole studio and find something that I love about it. I might pick up something and be like, oh my God, I'm a bit bloaty today, or blah, blah, blah. But I can find something like, oh my God, my back muscles are looking amazing, or, and focus in on that. And from that progression, I can always find something of kindness to love on my body about, which again is cultivated from that journey. Because when we celebrate all the women walking through our doors, and the other question we get is, how much can the pole hold? It can hold tons, by the way, like literally tons, because it's bolted into the ceiling, so there's no weight limit at all. We celebrate every single woman, their curves, their strength, their skin, their abilities, and some of the, their dance moves, everything. And that's what I love about it. But yes, you and I, we do get complimented on that. It's I don't know if it's a backhand compliment, but we do embrace it because we're strong, we're sexy, and it's taken us time to build our confidence in expressing that. And it didn't come naturally either. No. What you see on socials now is taken
10 years in the making for both of us, really.
Being pregnant, loving our bodies, going through that, stretch marks and all, comparing ourselves to others. And so the pole studio, like, not only has it, cultivated a beautiful friendship and a hobby that we both need to unwind and de-stress for us, but it's given us that empowerment, that love, and that connection. So I'm all for it, guys. If you have a local, dance studio, get into it, or find something where you can connect with like-minded souls on any other level.
And I think it's where it's good. I love being an instructor. And having, the slightly larger girls as instructors and stuff, it really helps build that connection a little bit more and help, those students go on that same journey. It gives them a little boost of
100%.
And I've had many compliments in the past of, wow, then you can do that. It's amazing. But then, like you said, there have been those backhanded compliments, and I've heard more than once, wow, that's really impressive. You're so strong. It's even more impressive because you've probably got more weight than the other girls to hold that.
I know people try and make it fine, but
it's definitely good to have that influence of,
self-love. We're loving on ourselves and loving on others.
And I know I've felt those doubts before. We're saying, yes, we're confident in our own skin. We're happy to be, showing all we've got. But I have, even after I met you, at times been in awe of your confidence of your body. I think you got there before I did. Confidence of, well, she's got the same body as me, but, she's so proud of it. And I know that inspired me to be more, to embrace a little bit more of that as well. I think that was way back when. And that's me as an instructor. I want to do the same for others. You know,
I think
you've done that for me, and now it's my turn to pass that on to other people as well.
Thank you for that, because I think that one of my gifts is though is seeing in others what they don't see in themselves, and I always saw you as a beautiful, sexy person, and that's why you and I mirrored each other so well in our dance and our cultivation. And I probably did push you, because I'm all about dancing and expressing stuff, and burlesque and striptease as well, sometimes in the right times and places. Let's just put that in quotation marks. But loving on your body in the right places is a practice, and if you can share that with somebody else, it is a gift. It is a gift. I had something I was going to ask to say. Now it's dropped out of my ADHD brain.
I think to our motivation. So that's where our relationship started. I know we were, connected a little at the studio, just very surface level at that point, and we were both complaining about our motivation. We both were in the same position. We love instructing, but trying to do our own personal training was not going to happen. And that's where our whole thing started, was trying to get that motivation,
having accountability.
And that was all it was, well, if we tell each other we're going to train, we're going to keep each other motivated, we're going to answer to each other for this, which, at times we both have days like,
yesterday we just chatted, but we have catched up in a while. So. Yeah, been a week. But we when we have, especially when we're training for comp, like, oh my god, we train like no tomorrow, and we've entered how many comps now? 3?
We've done 3. Yeah, we've competed 3 times.
Yeah, 3 comps and a few other performances in between.
Yeah, and I think we both did solo competitions.
We've done solo competitions.
Yeah.
And but having that accountability buddy for anything, whether it's your friendships, your business, your whatever else, but having an accountability buddy to train with is so fun, because you're not just doing it solo. And that's where we did start doing fun things in the studio. We're doing chair and acro and trying things, and that's where the double stuff came on. We were just like scrolling through Insta, seeing if we could get different things. We've got lots of fails. It's so funny, but having that person to show up for, we definitely do train harder together when we've got our motivation game on.
Something to train for. Definitely always pushes.
I love that.
Hey everyone, Nichole here, and I hope you're enjoying today's episode. I just want to take a quick moment to talk to you all. If you're finding value in our conversations and loving the raw, honest dialogues we're having here, I've got a small favor to ask. This podcast is a passion project for me, and there's nothing I love more than bringing these stories and insights to you. So if you haven't already, would you consider subscribing to our show and leaving a review? It's completely free and it doesn't take much time, but it really helps us in 2 big ways. It's getting the podcast in front of more listeners, which keeps our community growing. It helps us attract more amazing guests, which means we give you more value in the episodes we bring to you. Just hit that subscribe button, drop us a review, and let's keep these conversations flowing.
Where are we going to next year? That's my next thing. Like, what do we want to do? I think we need to look up. Like, we're going to go back to AAPC.
I think we said about doing AAPC again, just to something to motivate us. But I know that, the competitions, they're great because they're consistent. You know what it's going to be. It's something big to work towards. But performing, I love performing, and I know,
I think we need to get
a little bit onto the performing scene. I know there's less pressure for. I feel it. There's less pressure. But performance.
It's such a nerve-wracking thing. It's such a challenging thing, but it does help you in so many different aspects of your life. Like when you go, I'm going to do this. And here in South Australia, I don't know if it's the same across the country, but we do have a beautiful fringe that you can perform in. We have multiple venues that let amateurs perform in, and it really is a blessed state that you can, sing, do comedy, do dance, do, lyra, all sorts of different things. And we do have that here, which is honestly a blessing. We've got all our kids that, get to perform at different places and spaces. And it's not that rigid, you have to be at this elite level. Like there used to be like only gymnasts can, perform, or only dancers at this level. We do now have so many opportunities to get out there, and the euphoria that you get when you work on something and you put together, for us it's a routine, and then get to perform it, even if it's just to your friends and family, even if it's in the studio. Like there's such an accomplishment to that.
Yeah.
And that's what gets us, going back for more.
Yeah, I think for me personally, that performing and competing, that has built my confidence more than anything else, and has transferred into other areas of business now. I would have, 10, even 5 years ago, I would have never quit my job and started my own business. And I do attribute that to performing, getting out on stage, taking leaps of faith, and just going for it. Definitely.
Challenging your nervous system, that's what it is, because it's a fear that holds you back.
Yeah.
It's not that you can't do anything, because anything that you put your mind to, you absolutely can achieve. It's most of us want to play it safe and like, oh, no, I don't want to do that, or the fear's too big, or the adrenaline, or the whatever else. But when you do that thing, like it raises the bar, and the nervous system's like, hey, you didn't die. which is the common catchphrase in the pole studio. Do that move, you didn't die. It's okay. But when you do that thing and you realize that there is a safety in it, it encourages you to want more. And I believe that honestly, that is also another gift and a place of euphoria and happiness. When you have a goal, when you have something to work towards, whether it's in business, relationships, performing, whatever else, when you've got that thing, like people honestly say the most happiest times in their life is when they're like working towards something, like building a house, having a wedding, going on a holiday. When you've got that thing, and when you don't, you kind of slump back into this mundaneness. So when you have that, that energy is actually going out into every aspect of your life. Like, I've got this cool thing that I'm working towards. Abs and Chris know that when we're in comp mode, they come second. For a little bit, only for a little bit. But because we have to train really hard, and they are our biggest supporters. Yeah. But it does give us that, and it also makes us appreciate our partners more, because we get that time away to make time just for us.
Yeah, and I think that's something that, I wouldn't have expected it. I don't think many people would expect that from, seeing people take on a doubles, join up as doubles and start performing and competing. The connection between our families has been massive. Abs and Chris, they've had to, been forced to go and
forced friendship.
Not that they complained at all.
No, it was great when we went to Melbourne, they had time. And our kids are similar. They've grown up in the pole studios together. They play together. Correct. Our families have come together.
Yeah, that connection between, not just ourselves, but our families. And, that's something, nice. That's very special, that is.
Yeah. Oh, and I sent you a video the other day that
yes.
named her. I didn't even know what it was. She named her toy Lara. Was it Lara or Ella? I can't remember.
I think it was Ella. Yeah.
Ella's my best friend, and she took this video. She named one of her toys. Oh, that's super cute. And then if I go to the pole studio and you're not there, and sometimes she'll forget your name. She's like, "Where's that other person?" I'm like, "Auntie Alyce." She's like, "Yeah, where's Auntie Alyce?"
Yeah, and I think after that time, I came in. I think I was late even, and where were you? Yeah. So that's been really nice. Yeah.
And it's also coming back. I was chatting to another person on the podcast episode before this, guys, about modeling. Our kids see us having the best time together, see us training together, and both your girls are doing lessons in the class for Ariel, Lyra, and Silks. And because they're seeing that, and they're also now performing too, but they've got a hobby, they've got something outside of school, they've got a community that is encouraging them. And so by us making good choices for our bodies and our minds, our kids are now modeling that. Yeah. And Aurora loves a little dance party. Yeah. And she loves me doing the meditation part of because I run a meditation class in the pole studio as well. She copies that, and that's the only place I think she's seen it. She teaches me to breathe with little prayer hands. Yeah. And so by us doing all those things and having our families there, and there are mums and bubs classes, by the way, guys, so any mama bears making excuses about you can't have time or can't do these things, we know and we allow that in our studio at certain times, our kids are really thriving because they see such a positive role model, and they see us, you know, loving on our bodies, using it, exercising. Did I send you? I didn't think I sent you the video of Aurora copying me doing the hen's night. I was practicing there. Oh, so nice. They learn from us. They really do, and they have to model our behaviour. So that's really cool.
And I think, you know, we've seen it. You know, we both work with children a lot, and you know, we have trauma training and you know that kind of thing. We see influences that relationships have on children, and you know, you've seen it through. It's known that you know a child sees their parents in a toxic relationship. When they get older, they're more likely to slip into toxic relationships, is what they've seen. That's what they know. But having, you know, a lot of our relationship, especially when we're hanging upside down from each other, is built on a lot of trust.
Yeah.
A lot of trust. That's the biggest foundation of our relationship, is that trust we have in each other. And for our children to see a relationship that has that much trust behind it, that's going to be very powerful, very influential for when they get older. Yeah.
I think that's a really beautiful one, because there is a lot of trust in our connection and ability to try these scary moves. But it's also communication. You were worried about communicating. We've chatted so easily today. We have a really good ability to communicate with each other on and off the pole. Yeah. So anything that's coming up, any kind of stuff, and that really makes it a deeper connection. Yeah. And because we have that ability to communicate, there is a deeper level of trust as well. Like, have you got it? Not got it. Are you okay today? You're not okay. Yeah. You know, feeling on those levels is so important. And again, if kids can learn that at a young age, to trust and to communicate, that's huge. Yeah.
That's very big thing. Definitely. Yeah. So if you know, we don't ever win the big competitions, or you know, have bigger success in our doubles thing, I think that's more important than anything else, really, is what we've taught our kids.
100%. Well, it's why we both work with kids. Alyce, as you just mentioned a bit earlier, branched out and started her own business. Was it the beginning of this year? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, so
it's been forever, but
and so I've been telling Alyce for ages that, you know, start her own business, because she was in childcare and studying to be a teacher. And super proud of her, like, you know, at full capacity with, I think it was within 4 weeks. Yeah, when you launched your
4 weeks,
full capacity with her business. But yeah, our passion is not only, you know, us in the pole studio, but it's helping children. Like, it's part of our lives. I think that's why we get along so well. We connected on that deeper level, because helping youth through their problems, their families, their whatever else, their abilities. I don't like to say disabilities, but like helping them, helping the families achieve their goals is so important. And we both have run kids classes at the pole studio, and it's not just about their skills and abilities physically. No, it's about supporting their you know, their confidence emotionally.
Yeah, and I think that's something I've done a lot in my support work, and I've said that to families and before that I work with, is that from my own personal experience and seeing children and other things, and you know, there are children that are in a situation where they are likely to in the future go a little wayward and possibly get into negative states of mind and being, and having a hobby, I think, is the most important thing to keep children on track, the youth on track, especially. You know, there's a lot of kids out there who don't finish school still. They don't want to go to school. They don't think it's worth it. They just want to stay home, play video games, you know, disconnect from the world. But, you know, that's not going to help them once they get into adulthood, and they've, you know, got to earn money, you've got to have a house. But, you know, they're not in a state of mind to manage that. But having a hobby
teaches so many
skills, keeps them on track, you know, not just for their mental health as well. Everyone knows, you know, that exercise, fitness, great for your mental health, but hobbies, it doesn't have to be all about fitness. Any hobby is great for your mental health. You know, connect you with other people, like-minded people who, you know, so a lot of the work I do is, right, let's find what their interest is and find the hobby. Let's find the hobby.
I love that.
And if you work on that hobby hard enough, that can be your career, and that's everyone's goal in life, isn't it? To love what they do.
Correct.
And it all stems from your hobbies.
Yeah. And for anybody that's listening to this that, does have kids that are, struggling at school, because it's one thing that does come up in a lot of my coaching is that teen girls, teen boys are feeling isolated, bullied or whatever else. And at school, it's really hard because they're obviously with 30 other kids that you wouldn't not necessarily pick for them. But if you go into a place where they've got a hobby, or you find, or you start, they end up developing different relationships, and that excitement to go. I know for me, when I was really isolated at school, I joined karate, and that was my thing. I did it twice a week, and I had this thing to motivate me. And again, it was a fitness-based thing, an individual thing. I loved it. It became a little bit of my savior. And so you're so right, like bringing back hobbies for kids, whether it's like netball or football or playing chess or Lego or whatever. There's so many things that you can do that give them that escape that's not online or socials or, overstimulating their nervous system, finding something that's really good for them. So
I know I think that's something my parents instilled in me. Might have been annoying at the time, but every winter, every summer, right, what sport are we doing? What are we doing this summer? Which one thing are we doing? What sport are we doing? And we didn't have the most amount of money, so I didn't get to do gymnastics or the fun stuff that I wanted to do, but we did, the football, tennis, that kind of thing. And I think the one thing I learned from that was school is not the be all and end all, which, when you get to that 14, 15, school is life. If something goes wrong at school, your entire world is over.
Correct.
But when you've got an outlet away from school, where you've got a group of people who, sometimes they don't all accept you, but, at least you've got a group of people that some of them most, they can connect with you. You know that if something happens to school, it's not going to affect that. School isn't the end of the world.
Yeah.
Knowing you've got that secondary outlet is, very beneficial.
Yeah, 100%. I do love that. So both my boys joined a gym. I do love the gym as well. And Jake did football for a while, and that was transformative in his confidence. I think he did it 3 or 4 years. And now he's actually has a job. He loves his job. He loves working and earning money and sitting in his bank account. But yeah, having that escape from school, because school is not the be all and end all.
No.
They need an outside interest to keep them occupied, and giving them the life skills and the choices in those different things is again so important. So, and they don't always have to cost an arm and leg, like you said. There's plenty of things that you can do that are not the $300 or $400 a term.
Yeah, I think the libraries are great. There's so many. I didn't really know much about the libraries until this year, really, and looking at how many services they put on. They
free programs,
so many free programs there. All the after school activities, and it's great.
Even the museum. So my wife works at the museum in Adelaide. Like they actually run school programs, and I think they even ran a disco. There's so many cool things that we don't know about in our community, and we even work with kids. But there's so much cool free stuff out there if you just spend a little time Googling the right things. There's so many different communities that you can get into. Yeah. So I think that's probably our biggest message, huh?
Yeah.
Is getting in, get into the community, find something that you love, like even for us as adults, but then sharing that with our kids, because connection and having, that thing that you want to do, that desire, that thing that you want to connect into, makes such a happier human.
Yeah, keeps you going through when things go bad.
Yeah, you're excited.
There's a little bit of light there still when other elements in your life go a bit wrong.
Yeah, 100%. Our Pole Studio becomes our therapy, but I really forgot to relate that, so that's such a good reminder that, if we find such comfort and support in our communities and our outside curricular activities, it's so important to really instill that in the kids.
Yeah, and I know a lot of time you've seen it too. There's students of ours who have been not in a very good headspace. Things aren't going well, and they come in. They don't train. I just need to be where I feel happy. I'm just here to sit and talk. I'm probably not going to do any poll today. I just want to be here, and it's one amazing that they can, and it's, we both talk about energies, and that space has an energy that's
It does.
it's a very
it's a family
very
oriented
beautiful energy there.
community.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And yeah, I did want to say, I remember one other thing I was going to say. When I taught on the weekend, I did forget, and this is again coming back to that confidence, in a place of feeling like loved and supported. One of the girls from the hens party, 4 months postpartum, like had a baby, and said, I haven't been able to look in the mirror since. Like I've had such bad self-confidence, and today is the best I've ever felt in my body since then. And so, yeah, again, I just really want to drive home the level of confidence, love, security, safety, and fun that we've cultivated not only for ourselves, but for kids. Like, yeah, it's so important.
Yeah.
I love that. Is there anything else that you wanted to chat about today? We'll probably have to do another one. We've chatted the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, we really touched on
A lot of it. Relationships, connection,
whole relationships, connection. Yeah.
kids. Yeah, we did. We did well. Well,
Definitely.
I hope that we've shed some light on double D's and our how we started and our friendships. And if you have any questions for us in regard to anything, like this is honestly a labor of love. So we are happy to share anything, and if it's more around the coaching stuff, around kids psychology and philosophy, let us know, because we're so happy to do another podcast on request. So lots and lots of love from double D's, and we will be on your channels again soon somewhere.